Hello, it's Thomas Worth here with another session of Labyrinth home mixing and mastering sessions. Today we've got a bit of an electronic track to do. I'll show you guys a preview of it and have a listen and we'll get started. Alright, cool. I'm just sort of tweaking this for you guys at home so your level stays up a bit because it's pretty quiet, but we'll start here anyway. This is sort of, when I load in a track, a dance track, this is sort of the plugins that I have already a bit prepared. They don't have any settings on them and I have them all bypassed at the start because oftentimes I'll sort of go through and delete half of them if I'm not going to use them and that sort of stuff. These are just the tools that I go to when I start a master usually, and I'll add in ones here and there that I think I need as well, but have a listen. First of all, unless you have probably a subwoofer at home, you're not going to be able to hear that one, but that's just the classic cleaning out the absolute mud from the low end. Like, that'll tighten your bass up a lot and give you way more headroom when you get to the limiting stage, because that's just unwanted noise down there, but there's a fair bit of it, especially in dance music. A lot of your tracks have really extended subs and they just don't really need it. Next, we've got isotope. I only use this for two parts that I've turned on: the imaging, which I just mono the bass with, and then sort of I liked a bit of widening here and about that sort of frequency range. We'll have a bit of a listen. I sort of like that. It just opens it up a little bit, and yeah, I think that's good. Also got a bit of an exciter on that SAM frequency band because I know there's a lot going on in that sort of region in this track, and just wanted a bit more grunt to it sort of, and just spread it out open a bit. So that's the two things I've done to it there. And also his kick drum, all this will just add harmonics in sort of here so you can hear it on smaller headphones and that sort of stuff, MacBook speakers, all those kind of things, and I think it really rounds out that kick a bit and like beefs it up a bit, which is cool. Next I've just got tube amp. Same sort of thing. These are just very subtle little tweaks here and there that I do when I'm mastering. Like, if I've got a decent mix down, which I do have here, you don't go too crazy with the effects and that. This is just a really nice sort of another sort of harmonic saturation tube amp. Get some more harmonics in there. Electronic tracks, I really try and liven them up a bit like that. Like, if you've got a recording of a band and that sort of stuff, it doesn't necessarily need it because it's rich as it comes into you, but dance stuff can be very sort of bland, so I do that. Next, just that sort of classic shine. I haven't set this yet, so we'll figure with this, a bit of 16K, Puke Tech, beautiful for it, like one of the most transparent sort of EQs that you can add frequencies with. You don't get that all the time. Wide bandwidth, so it's not very targeted, and we'll just have it. Somewhere there, I sort of like what that's doing. That's good. The glue, I'm on the trial version still. But I'll probably have to pay for that soon because I do really like it. It's just my SSL channel strip bus compressor replacement basically. It sort of does the same thing. I've AB'd both of them together and I think the glue does easily just as good a job, so that's sort of what I'm using it for. As its name suggests, it is the glue. It's a bus compressor that sort of just ties everything in together, just that really I think I've only knocking off 2, yeah, ratio of 2 dB. That comes up all the time. Auto release, really quick attack, and then just your makeup and threshold, just so it's sort of taking off what, a dB or 2 at a time, like nothing too crazy. I might skip to a different part of the song for a little while. Cool. Alright, next we've got Brainworks. Now this is, at the moment, I'm only using it for the mono maker and a little bit more stereo width, which I'm going to back off because we already did a bit of stereo width with Isotope. Mono maker, awesome. You really need this. Like, takes all your low frequencies out of your sides, puts it straight in the middle, so your kick, bass, straight up the guts where you want it. There's no phasing, there's no mess. Perfect. I think that'll do for now. I might be coming back for a bit more EQing soon, but we'll leave that. I really like the mix that this guy's done. I sort of can't hear any real problem frequencies. We've just sort of enhancing it here. Like we'll get to. I'm sort of going to do some EQing more with my limiters actually than actual EQs for this song. Like if there was a troublesome frequency, I'd have my Brainworks out and I'd be ripping tiny cues out of everywhere with that sort of stuff. But I like the mix he's given me, so I'll work with it. 200 classic sort of build up muddy zone. We'll just hear what this does. It's a good place to take a bit of energy out, so you open up your headroom a little bit. It's really good for that, and oftentimes if your mixing engineer is not all over it, there'll be a lot in this sort of 200 to 250 sort of range, and if you whip that out, that's it's oftentimes going to be good for you. Linear band, the linear multiband, full reset. I just sit on the multi-electro mastering. That's fast attack, sort of unlike your opto. That's quick, getting the job done where you need it. A good trick I learned was when you're setting the threshold for this fella, if you want it relatively even, you can just do this. You see I'm taking the readouts from the bottom of where the frequency sort of peaks and where the energy is, and then just moving it up top. Now I'm going to have a bit of a play with this because I want that way narrower. I like to work with that a lot more because that band can be pretty troublesome, and if I've got a whole band of compression dedicated to it, then that's good. Another one with your subs. Now sort of that'll be a bit spread. What's that at? 10. I'll bring that back to 10. That's at 4. You can have some trouble in here, like another band might even be good, but this will be fine. I'm really liking how this is coming along, but I think this next section might be a little different. We'll have a listen. Bring the volume back down to where it should be. Right. To me, it would have been really nice if he separated that sort of pluck hit, if he sort of got that out of the middle and put it onto the sides a bit. I was thinking I could do some EQing with the Brainworks to try and get rid of some of that peak and perhaps spread it out a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll just have a bit more of a listen, because that's the only section in the song. And now what I do is I bring my threshold down with the auto makeup by about 6 dB or something, so negative 14.8 for example. I'll look at that and it'll go to negative 20.8. Provided my math holds out alright. What this sort of does on this setting is brings up your perceived loudness, because it brings up all your quiet elements and lowers. It's just classic compression, I guess, but it really brings up those quiet elements. And oftentimes if there's vocals or real features in the song, I won't use it as heavily, because this song sort of doesn't have a real key focus. It changes throughout the song. I think bringing it all up, it'll work for this sort of song. Next, we're getting into the volume. Alright, so this is a clipper by T-Rax. It's a pretty good clipper. I'll show you how I normally use it. Run up into distortion, then bring it back until I can't really hear any, and then just to be safe, nothing. Clippers are good, but they really destroy your dynamic range. Like, if you clip a track, you end up with an actual sausage, and like, that's not always good, because you want it to be loud, but I mean, you don't need it to be the same loudness in the quietest part of the song. It doesn't need to be the same loudness as the loudest part of the song. You don't really want that. You want the loudest part of your song to be loud, but you don't need the quietest part of your song to be as loud. So with clippers, like, they're just a bit dangerous. You sort of got to watch what you do with them. I know I started out using them quite a lot, especially in dance music and stuff, but I use them less and less now, and I wouldn't be surprised if in a bit I'm backing that off even more after I start getting some more limiting going. Next is the old L3. Awesome plugin, sort of the same as your linear multiband, except that's a linear phase multiband. This isn't, I don't think. It's multiband compression, but without the linear phase sort of element. Anyway, what I do, drag this down till it starts sounding good, then I'll adjust all my priorities and that sort of stuff, get my bands sorted. Like, this is sort of how I want it, like lows, and then sort of your low mids, your sort of mids, high mids, and highs. So I think this might have another band than... Oh no, it doesn't, it's just a bit different. Anyway, this is good. We'll have a bit of a play with this. You can hear there that you've just lost all the energy in your track, and you've gone too far and destroyed it. I'd like to see a little bit more taken out of these upper mids, so you bring the priority down, just for example. See how it's getting an absolute workout now? It's because it sort of brings the threshold down. They call it priority, but it's basically threshold. So I'm just seeing a lot moving from in here, and I can hear that I would like a little bit more gone from here, so we'll just use it like that. Cool. I think this is sort of a bit of a bassy song, so I'm gonna keep the bass. Like, I'd give it a bit more priority so it doesn't get limited too hard. Now this can be, you can lose a bit of headroom like this, but I've got a meter here, and we'll see where our RMS is hitting at the moment. Alright, so that was sort of, we're getting up to a bit of a commercial RMS level here. I'm probably going to drive it just a little bit more with this fella. Nice clean limiter, I like the L2. As long as you're not absolutely frying your signal, you can see that's getting pretty loud, and I like the sound of it. Yeah, that was a really quick overview. Like, I set that all up beforehand so that we could run through it in as little time as possible. Honestly, now after I shoot this video, I'll probably have a bit of a tweak with all the tools there. I don't think I'm going to add anything too drastic, but I think the stereo image needs a little bit of work and just some control, especially just because of the difference in like this section here. It really is almost like a different song, so I'll have a bit of a fiddle with that. Anyway, I'm Thomas with Labyrinth Studios. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please just like or shoot me a comment. Cool. Alright, thanks for that. See yous.